Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to my channel. Uh, I'm still testing and adjusting. See if I can do this right. Uh, Welcome to my channel. This is the girl, Miss Bibi Daughter. I hope that you are all hearing me. It's a beautiful day, isn't it? Just giving it some time. I just want to say welcome, 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 welcome to the channel. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. Hey Jill, how are you? Welcome, it's good to have you. I'm just stopping by because I'm so excited. I'm excited because I got me a gift that I'll be unboxing in this live chat. And it's very important to me because it's a friend who, a friend decided to gift me something because she knows what I like to do, right? I don't know. Hey, Adrian, can you tell me, can you or Jill or anybody on this chat tell me what it is I love to do the most? Apart from, I mean, I can't say cooking, right? Because I don't cook a lot on this channel, but I really do love to cook. But can anybody guess what it is I really love to do? That's probably in this. I'm so excited. I'm really excited. So, how have you been? You know, I see I don't even know where to look. Can I tell you guys, I don't know if I should look left, right, above or low to be in the the camera viewfinder. I don't know. So please forgive me, okay? I'm looking at myself because I want to see myself. So I hope my looking at myself is my looking at you. So today is June 12th, I think. If you're celebrating a birthday, happy, 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 happy birthday. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary. If it's your graduation, happy graduation, happy day, whatever it is, just, be happy for today. It's really a beautiful day. It was beautiful outside earlier. It was a bit, it wasn't as humid today as it was yesterday or, a few days before. So it wasn't that bad. Why am I thinking I'm hearing the doorbell ringing? Am I hearing the doorbell ringing? 1 minute, guys. One single minute. Let me just, uh, let me give you some 1 minute, guys. One single minute. I'll be right back. Thank you for your patience. Hey, eat, cook, and live it up, smile. By the way, I can't wait to see you guys dive in on those bananas. And do not cheat this challenge now. Adrian, I think you were called out, and eat, cook. And I think T was called out as well. Make sure so you find the biggest banana them. It not gonna work with the little banana. Eat cook me know you go for the biggest one them. You understand? Me know you. You go for the biggest one. You better eat the 10 of them too. Here I have some coconut oil and tea tree oil and all sort of oils and stuff that I mixed up a little concoction for my hair. But my lips feeling dry and I'm about to use it on my lips. Yeah, it's good for the whole body. Right, so I hope that you guys are awesome, doing well. Hey Zane, welcome. Oh, before I go into my unboxing, guys, I'm telling you, I'm so excited. Nobody has guessed what it is I love to do. How is it nobody has guessed what it is I love to do, or one of the things I love to do the most? No, eat coconut. No. Buy no small banana around here. We all know how you can handle the big thing. So please go and get the big banana. Them the one that will look like plantain, and then you forget. Right. So you guys know I love to do a lot of things, and since you can guess it, this is what it is. I love to read. So I read from this book before. Yes, eat cook. I love to read. So I read from this book before. Did the right sperm win? And it really has nothing to do with the actual sperm, except for one story. It's actually a collection of inspiring stories. And when you read them, you kind of have a different outlook on life. Yes, Adrian, I really love to read. You really have a different outlook on life when you have read, the different stories. Yes, my come for you. But not to lie, when I watched that premiere this morning and she called out Eat Cook, I said, let's see what's gonna happen. I cannot wait to see the facial expressions and hear the sounds when you eating down the bananas. I'm telling you, yes, it's not actually the sperm, Jill, but it has one story that talks about the sperm though. But the entire book is just a collection of different inspiring stories. And when you actually read them, then you just have a different outlook, a different viewpoint. You actually see where other persons are coming from. Right. So today I'm gonna read chapter 4, and it says, life is not fair. Life is not fair. It isn't fair, right? She said it isn't fair. So it goes. Oh, by the way, welcome to my channel, guys. Thanks for dropping in. This is a live chat. Eat cookies dead in. Please don't die. This is a live chat. I'm very happy that you have spared some of your time to be here with me. I promise I will not keep you very long. And just engage the conversation, and we'll see how it goes, right? And don't forget, I have my unboxing to do, or my unpackaging to do. So life is not fair. 4 boys stood in front of their father with dread as they waited in line to hear what would be said. They each knew very little of the outside world, and to find out, each would have to decide to step out of their comfort zone and face life challenges all alone. The father came in and looked at each of his sons and quietly prayed. His advice they would Let me go again. The father came in and looked at each of his sons and quietly prayed his advice they would understand. My sons, you have lived a very sheltered life, free from war, hurt, and strife. You have never seen the world as it truly is, with all its joys and hidden ills. But today, as you each depart from this place, I'll give you my best piece of advice, just in case. This world may or may not care, but always remember, life is not fair. Right? So here was a father who was, his four kids were going out of the nest, out of the home then to start their own life because he felt like, this was a time for it. He's done his part, but he actually gave his children a sheltered life. In Jamaica, would I say, stone a river bottom, no sun hot. Stone a river bottom, no sun hot. Yes, I always have a Jamaican saying, it's certain things that we read. So he gave his children a sheltered life, which means they don't know what happened outside. They don't know about war. They don't know about the unkindness. They don't know about all that's going on right now, right? They don't know about that. So he was telling them that, his piece of advice is that the world may or may not care. And that is just so true. You go through life and some people care, some people no business. Some people hurt you, some are kind to you, some they have patience with you and stuff like that. And some just don't care. So he said, this world may or may not care, but always remember life is not fair. So I'll read on. So off they each went with his sage advice, each to wander and live their own lives. The first went off and in a cabin hid, and all his dreams he never did. The second decided to fight for it all, got lost, and ended up missing his true call. The third worked the hardest to rectify what his father had said, but fate was against him, and in 1 year, he was dead. Then I was left alone, all by myself, to find my fame and discover my wealth. I enjoyed the victories and learned from the pain. I lived my life with great cunning and care, and all because I remembered that Father had said, life is not fair. So, four boys, three of them went off, well, all four of them went off living their lives differently, owing to the advice from their dad that, life is not fair. So the first one, he didn't want to face what he thought was all the cruelties of the world. Even though his father did say, that he did say that there are joys and hidden ills, ills as in ILLS, not HILLS. So there are hidden things that will, scare you or, obstacles, challenges, whatever you want to call hidden. And then he also said that there were joys, and that's just how life is. There's a mixture of both, right? Life is about balance. So the first son, he, felt like, listen, I've lived a sheltered life anyways, so might as well I just go hide myself. I don't want to face the world. I want all the joys, but I don't want the ills. I don't want the challenges. So I'm not going to go out and face the world. And of course, if you hide behind, a wall, you never experience life. You never get to do all the things that you want to do because you are so fearful, because life is not fair. So the second one, he decided to fight for it all, got lost, and ended up missing his true call. So you know what it is, right? Him just decide, him just a go. Him just a go. Go at it. Nah, look back, nah, take no check, nothing, just a go straight out. So he missed his true call, whatever that was. The third, I guess he ended up being, not so successful. So the third worked the hardest of the three, or of the four, of the three so far. The third worked the hardest to rectify what his father had said, but fate was against him, and in a year he was dead. So again, he was just trying to go, the world not care, so might as well me just do what me I do, right? So the world didn't care, so he just did what he was doing, and in just a year he was dead. Can you imagine? Again. River, we go, stone a river bottom, no sun at. So they were also sheltered. And by the way, what do you think about parents who shelter their children so much so that when it is time for them to go out and live their own lives, they are clueless. basically. They are clueless about what is going on in the world because them so sheltered in a river bottom, right? They are so sheltered. Sorry about that, guys. They are so sheltered in the river bottom. Parents do everything for them. Everything. Cook, wash, do the laundry, cook. Probably I'll go find girlfriend or boyfriend for them, wife or husband for them. Do their shopping, clean their houses and stuff. It's like these parents, this I call it spoiling. And there's a difference between spoiling and loving your child and doing whatever. Spoiling is when, to me, them can't do nothing. Them cannot do anything. They can't cook, wash, nor clean. They cannot function as a human being. They cannot function as you can function as a parent, doing all these things because you're doing all these things for them. So you see, when you shelter your kids too much, and listen, I'm not telling anybody how to grow their children, not doing that. I'm just suggesting that we want to be careful when we are teaching our kids or lack thereof about the world, because the world is there and they will have to face the world. No matter how much you shelter your children, they will have to face the world at some point by themselves. So how are you preparing your children for that moment when they have to face the world alone? So I'm going to read the last paragraph or stanza again. Then I was left alone all by myself to find my fame and to discover my wealth. I loved and lost and loved again, and I enjoyed the victories and learned from the pain. I lived my life with great cunning and dare, and all because I remembered that Father had said, life is not fair. No, apparently, this fourth son was the only one who he perceived what his father said differently. And this is how perception can change your viewpoint and everything, right? It says life is not fair. And his father did say life is not fair. But what did the fourth son hear? While he heard life is not fair, his perception was FEAR and not FAIR, right? So his perception was FEAR, fair as in, and not FAIR. Hold on 1 second, guys, 1 second. Please bear with me. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for staying with me. Welcome, Alicia. Thank you for joining us today. So, sorry for the interruption, guys, but please understand, right? So, the fourth son, he heard life is not FEAR. The others heard FAIR. So the others went in or out into life being already I would say brainwashed or conditioned that things would be against them, because if something is not fair, normally you would say it's against you, right? It's against. So it's not balanced. So they went out into life thinking that life in itself is unbalanced, it's not fair, FAIR, and things will work against them. And because they had that mindset when they went out, that's exactly how they um, operated in life, and that's exactly what went back to them. Life wasn't fair. You notice that all of them basically met um, an unfair demise. Like one, he lost all his dreams because he never, you know, came out of the cabin. Not literally. I don't think he literally lived in a cabin. I just think he continued to shelter himself then, and did not get into anything that would require fairness in his eyes. And then the second one, he just went at it. He just went at it. And the third one, the same thing. In a year, he was dead. So this fourth son is the only son who he heard life is not FEAR. How many of us approach life like that? Life is not FEAR. Yes? How many of us say life is not FEAR? And then how many of us think life is not FAIR? And why is it life isn't FAIR? Sorry for the spelling, guys, but the two words are what they call them, homophones. They homophones. Yes, they sound alike, I think, right? So it comes down then to perception and what each person will perceive from what they hear, because their father was just speaking. So they did not literally see it in writing. He was just speaking. And so it is whatever they perceived that he said, that's what they went out with. So the person who looked at what his father said the most positively is the one that endured, is the one that had success, is the one that, he met both ends of the spectrum that his father said he would have. You know, the hills, no, not the hills, the ills, ILLS, and the joys. So he experienced everything because he went at life not fearing, FEAR, not fearing. He didn't go with a negative mindset or a preconceived mindset to say life is unfair. And a lot of us, the only time life is unfair to us is when something is not going our way. When things good, we now look and say life unfair in things good for me. No, we don't do that. Talk the truth. Don't when things good going good. We don't sit down and say life unfair because things are good for we. No. But as soon as something is not going how we want it to go, then we start to say that life is unfair. Why the world no level? Donkey said the world no level and all of these things. But when the shoe is on your foot, it fit nicely upon your foot, you don't have nothing negative to say. So I'm going to finish reading what Vinette said about this story. Yeah. Yes, Al. Thank you. So I'm sure every one of us have heard, used, or experienced the meaning of the phrase, life is not fair. We use this phrase usually when we are at the negative end of some circumstance or situation in our lives. Most of us have grown up hearing this familiar phrase, and because of it, many people have stopped trying, and some never tried at all because they had that phrase firmly embedded in their psyche. For some, this phrase is a crutch or excuse for not pushing through life's disappointments and setbacks. So sometimes, like I said, because we are in a negative situation or we having a setback or we can't control what's happening at this point, then we just jump off and we say life is not fair. But is it really not fair? You know, somehow we rarely hear this phrase from the other end. When things are going well, I suppose when things are going well, it really does not matter if life is fair or not, because even if it is not, no one will complain. One perspective that we have not examined, no, but where did this phrase originate? Who said it and why? It would be interesting to find out. But why am I reading over this thing 10 times? Hello? One perspective that we have not examined is the possibility of a mistake in either the translation, diction, or recording of this simple but profound statement. Life is not fair is stating a fact that is blatantly obvious. It is an impossibility for life to be fair. We are all different with different backgrounds, culture, and outlook, different belief systems. So, fairness will always mean different things to different people, which is true. However, if we translate the statement to mean life is not FEAR, then it's a whole new game. Now it is all about everyone facing life head on, meeting our challenges without the usual tentative reservations that limit our excellence and reduce many of life's experiences that would have made us better people, helped us to fulfill those dreams that never came to fruition. I once read a question that asked, what would you do if you knew you could not fail? What would you do if you knew that you could not fail? Hey, Adrian. What would you do if you knew you could not fail? What dream would you try to achieve? Which country would you try to travel to? You know, what business would you venture into if you knew you couldn't fail? Using the maxim life is not fair, FEAR, would make this question a lot easier to answer. We would simply do all that we can do because FEAR had been reduced or eliminated. It is time to adopt the new translation and start to chase your dreams a little bit harder, to take greater risks. When life meets you with setbacks and disappointments, do not just accept it. Keep pushing through the hurt and the pain, knowing no fear. Start living with the new phrase, life is not FEAR. Yay! Yes, Adrian, so you start YouTube if you weren't afraid. Okay, but you're not afraid. You're here and you're doing so well. You're doing awesome. Trust me, you're doing a great job. You are. I'm proud of you dropping your videos every week consistently. That is something that will help your channel to just grow outside of the growth. I don't know. It will help your channel to really grow because you're so consistent, right? So try not to have any fear, especially if you think that you can do something if you weren't going to fail. And then failing is almost, I think persons are just afraid of failing. The fear of failure is why a lot of persons do not try to achieve their dreams. The fear of failure is why a lot of persons do not take that first step. She's not afraid, right? So try not to be afraid. So thank you again, guys, for joining this live stream. Go ahead and drop your comments in the comments section. I really appreciate every one of you. I appreciate you for stopping by. I appreciate you for sharing your time. You know, I appreciate every second that you are here. If you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And remember, over here, we do lots of different stuff. You know, it's all about Miss Baby Daughter. So sometimes I cook, sometimes I try to do a mukbang. You know, I love to read. I love to do book reviews. I love to motivate and encourage persons. I love to inspire. You know, I just love to be myself and I love to eat. Yes, I was told that I like to eat, so I like to eat. Yes, yes, yes. So there you go. There you go, Adrian Cooking and Food Review. He says, I am not scared of failure because I learned a lesson. And that is so true. There is always a lesson to be learned. And the moment you find yourself doing the same thing and feeling the same, it's because you don't learn your lesson. There's just no going around that. Because if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to get the same result. So if you failed at something, if you tried moving the table by pushing and you fail at it, and tomorrow you come back and push and you fail at it, it's because you're doing the same thing. I'm not saying if you push and you don't succeed, you're supposed to stop. But at what point will you recognize that you continue to push the table and you are not in a move At what point will you realize that maybe you just need to ask somebody else for help? At what point would you realize that you maybe need to look at the foot of the table to see if it have something that's, holding it in place where you can push it? Yeah. So do not be afraid of failure, because in every failure, there is a lesson to be learned. Yes. Oh, thank you for appreciating me, Eat Cook, Chrissy. Water, guys. Water is good for the soul, they say. Right. So don't forget I have my gift. A friend of mine, earlier this year, we decided that we would do reading. And I challenged myself to read a book per week. Now, in the first maybe 3 weeks, I think I did like 2 books per week. Sometimes I was doing 1 book a day. Then I took some days and rested. But then I don't know what happened, and I just stopped reading. And I find that whenever I don't read, um, I feel like I'm losing a part of me, like I'm losing my vocabulary, I'm losing knowledge, information, I'm losing time. I feel like I'm losing stuff when I do not read. And when I do read, I'm always able to just use it as, like wisdom. I read a lot of health books. I read a lot of health books. If you say health, you call my name. I'm reading all those books. I'm reading motivational books, inspirational books. I'm reading novels, you know. I don't read anything that's not going to add value to my life. I love to read, but I won't read anything that's not going to add some sort of value to my life, right? So I will choose any literature and I will just read random stuff. But I really enjoyed this book, guys. It's really a good book. Did the Right Sperm Win by Vinette Hoffman Jackson. She is a Jamaican born, but she's living in the UK and she's worked in the educational sector. She's also a writer, a motivational speaker. She's a single mother of 3 boys, and she considers her role as a mom as the most important thing in life. Here, she considers her role as a mother as the most important thing in her life. And so she went and she did this collection of inspirational stories to, help people like me and you who just want to read something to uplift yourself at a moment you may be feeling down, right? So she has, it's a good book, and this will not be the last you'll see me take up this book. I already did a few stories from it, and I thought, they're really good, really, really good. And you can find this book on Amazon too. I'm not advertising for her. I'm not being paid to advertise. I'm not advertising for her. I am just sharing, my reading. So guess what? It's unboxing, unpackaging time. All right. So we're going to unpackage, right? Okay, guys. So I'm looking for some little music or something to play while I'm unbox. It's exciting, It's very exciting. It's very exciting. So I'm gonna play um, a song, then I'll be right back. So don't go away, guys. Do not leave. I'm back. I hope you're hearing me. So I'm so excited. Okay, so I was telling you that a friend of mine, we had we had decided earlier this year that we would read, and she thought, to be honest, she thought she couldn't read all those books, so she committed to one book per month, which is fine as long as you're reading. So she committed to one book per month. However, she was having difficulties reading that one book per month. But with the recent pandemic, with the recent pandemic, she found herself reading sometimes a book in a day. Yes, she was reading a book in a day. No, isn't that awesome? We tend to see all the negative things that have happened for the last couple of months or weeks, and we can point out to really quickly. Yes, me have to keep on in a suspense. I want to know. I forgot my words. So we can point out really quickly all the negative things that have happened to us in the last couple of weeks or months. But how many of us have really honed into the positives of the last few weeks or months? A lot of us get to spend time with our families. Yes, we understand that we never at work, and because we don't work, we're not getting no pay. But at the end of the day, we had not seen our children or parents or siblings for months or even years, right? So we got to spend time with family. We get to cook our own meal because the restaurants them locked down, and you got to cook your own food, and you find yourself enjoy your own cooking, and you're like, hey, when all this is over, I'm gonna just cook my own food, or I'm gonna continue cooking my own food. Okay, Jill. I won't keep you much longer. So I'm just saying, let us, be thankful for all the things that have been happening, or all the things that we've been able to do because we've had to stay home or limit our outside goings and comings and stuff like that. So, um, I just want to make sure that my friend who bought me the package is online. So I'm just sending her a message. Do you get excited when you get packages? Are you, Jill? Do you get excited when you get packages? Christy, Adrian, Alicia, do you all get excited when you get a package? When the post office ring the doorbell. And listen, guys, my postal, well, everybody who comes to my door, they don't just one time the doorbell, they be doing this. And you gotta be, hello, give me a chance, I'm coming. So yeah. So I don't know, I'm not getting her, but since you're all here and I got my package, I just want to say thank you, Cheryl. Thank you for, understanding who I am as a person, and for just surprising me with this package. Um, you know, so I hope you guys can see it, because I'm about to, and I don't get packages off my ear, so I'm about to rip it open. Yeah! I hope I'm not crazy. So look, guys, what do you know? I got a book. Nothing else not in the package, but oh, you have an unboxing week after next. I'll be there. So look what I got. Oh my God. The monk who sold his Ferrari. Monks have Ferrari? Hmm. I can't wait to dive into this book. I can't wait to that. Lord, All right. All right. So this is the monk that sold his Ferrari, and inside, she didn't get to write anything in there, guys, because she bought it online for me. So it is it is a fable. It says it's a fable about fulfilling your dreams and reaching your destiny. It's a fable about fulfilling your dreams and reaching your destiny. So, guys, if you ever have any doubts about fulfilling your dreams, read books like those things that encourage you, that motivate you, that pushes you. Yeah, to do them things there. So, I know money now drop out. See there? Yes, Adrian is a library. So the monk who sold his Ferrari, and Lord, me not like when you can see it, but me not some. I love when my prints are big. I love big prints. Not that I'm blind or anything, but I love big, bold prints. Yes, I love big, bold prints. This one kind of small, but I'm still gonna read it because I know that it will be good, guys. I can't wait to share it with you. I can't wait to share, all the lessons that I'm about to learn from this book. I know it will add value to my life. I know that. And I know that once I begin reading it, I will be sure to share it with you. Um, it doesn't have chapters. It's just one book. Ooh. Oh yeah, it has chapters. I was wondering which book don't come with chapters, right? So let me just read something. I just randomly skipped to a page. Okay. So it says, a most extraordinary garden. So this is my first time reading and you're hearing it, right? Wow. So it's a most extraordinary garden. Most people live, whether physically, intellectually, or morally, in a very restricted circle of their potential being. We all have reservoirs of life to draw upon, of which we do not dream. Again, and that was written by William James. So most people live, whether physically, intellectually, or morally, in a very restricted circle of their potential being. We all have reservoirs of life to draw upon of which we do not dream. To me, this is saying that we tend to limit ourselves. We're always limiting ourselves so much. But this is saying that we restrict ourselves to our circle of the potential. I can only see the door. So I'm restricting myself to what I can see, which is that door right there. But beyond the door is so much more that we do not even dream of going beyond that door. We have the capacity to dream of so much. You could imagine beyond that door is a whole ocean, is a whole city, is a whole playground, a whole garden, a most extraordinary garden. Wow. A whole garden with all, your favorite flowers and stuff and things that you could do. So we tend to really restrict ourselves to just that. We can't see that, so we limit ourselves. And we really ought not to be limiting ourselves, you know? Thank you so much, guys, for sharing your time with me. Thank you for stopping by. I know your time is very important to you, and it warms my heart. My heart easy for warm, you see. It warms my heart that you're sharing your time with me today. I really appreciate every single second, every minute that you're over here. I appreciate it so much. So one of my favorite things to do is to read. I love to read. I read. Them say, when I was a child, you hear, reading maketh a full man. Me can't sing, but read and read all you can. Join a library or buy a book and give it more than just a passing look. Yes. Hey, Nasif, thank you for locking in. Right, so you read all you can and give it more than just a passing look. Not everybody likes to read. I know that. And I cannot say that you must read. But reading helps to increase, your vocabulary, your knowledge, information about stuff. When you read, let me tell you something about reading. Reading takes you to places you will never physically go. Like I can tell you, I've been to almost every country in this world. I've been to every era in terms of age, 200 BC, and the next one that come after the BC. Remember AD? What's the AD? I've been to London. I've been to Switzerland. I've been to France. I've been to Africa. You know, I was coming to America a long time before I reached America. You know, I've been in some castles. I've been in townhomes. You know, I've been to different beaches. I've been to Thailand. You know, I've been to so many places, because you do know that you are much more than a physical being. I said that maybe 2 days ago. You are much more than a physical being. You are more spiritual than you are anything else. And your spirituality, your spiritual, you know, wellness, your spiritual capacity, your mental, you know, capacity, capabilities, whatever you want to call it can take you to places that you will never ever physically go. Now, isn't that awesome? You could be reading a book and you feel like you're there. You are there in 1940. You're there in 1960. You're there when, you know, your country gained independence. You are part of the celebration based on what you're reading, the literature that you're reading. The same way how your eyes can take you to places you've never been. I've never been to a lot of places. I have not read about them in a book, but I've seen it on TV. So I feel like I'm there because the eyes is the window to the world. And yes, it's a connection to, you know, your spiritual being and all of these things. So I've been to a lot of places. And you can't tell me something over there. Me go. All in my dream, me I go places, right? So that is what books do for me. That's what reading does for me. It really takes me to different places. It's calming for me, it's therapeutic, you know, and I don't know what to say. I just want to say read, and read all you can. Join a library or buy a book. I don't know about the library team. We not read, not library, nothing. But I have a lot of books. And yes, Adrian, um, it I could very well use a library. And I don't just read a book once either, guys. I don't read a book just once, because it's just like, you know, some of us, some people have, um, some people have the Bible, some have the Torah, some have whatever book you read. You know, if you're religious, then you have a religious book, and you don't just read it once and you put it down. You keep reading, you know, over and over that book. So it's the same thing with books. I don't just read a book and put it down, unless after I read it. As a matter of fact, if I start reading one book and it now add no value to my life, I put it down. That's it. But once a book is valuable to me, I will be reading that book several times over, because there are always, you know, important things that you can always go back to, and that's why I like a book. Me no bother. Thank you so much, Jill. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. Okay, so I'll see you later on your video. Yes, thank you. So I like to have my own book. I don't like to borrow books because I like to mark in them. One time I never used to mark in a book. I thought it made your book messy when you're marking it. But when you're marking your book, you see, when you're marking your book, it's so easy for you. Thank you, Jill. I will enjoy my new book. It's so much easier for you to go back to salient points that you want to reiterate, like you want to always have that at your fingertips. So for me, having my own book is very important. I can always go back to, you know, different points that I highlighted in my book. And I appreciate that very much. So I've got my own books. And my auntie give me books too. She read a lot of books, so I do have a lot of books from my aunt. But this book, I can't wait to dig into it. You know, I can't wait to dig into it. Let me see what the front, and one thing I always do when I'm about to read, I always pray. I always say a word of prayer, asking, you know, my God to, you know, clear my mind and help me to get the knowledge that he wants me to get from the book, the wisdom and the understanding that he wants me to get, and that I not lean onto my own understanding. And that is, I do that with reading, I do that with my exams. I always pray before I start any exam. I always pray before I start any interview. It's just something I do that, I don't know, it's something I do. It works for me. So thank you so much, Cheryl, for this book. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry you're not on right now. Um, I'm sorry you're not on the live right now, but I'm sure you'll be able to see this afterwards. So I appreciate it so much that you thought of me, that you read this book for yourself. She read it for herself, and she's not telling me about the book. She said, I'm just going to buy it, so she bought the book and she sent it to me. So, all right. So chapter, I have 9 minutes, to 1 hour. So maybe I'll just read chapter 1. If you don't mind, I'll share chapter 1 with you. Yes. So it's entitled, hold on, let me pray. Amen. And I just don't pray aloud. I do not pray. If you follow my videos, you know I do not pray aloud. But I told you before what my usual prayer is when I'm about to read a book. So this one is entitled The Wake Up Call. Oh, and the book is written by Robin Sharma. So it's a captivating story that teaches as it delights. And this was said by Paulo Coelho, the author of The Alchemist. But this book is written by Robin S. Sharma, the monk who sold his Ferrari. And it's a fable about fulfilling your dreams and reaching your destiny. The wake-up call. He collapsed right in, and please, may I read for the first time? If you not hear me make no mistake or them something there, please do not laugh at me. Just let me try. There may be words that I do not know how to pronounce and stuff. Me will try. And if me can't spell it, me just jump over it. If me can't pronounce it, me jump over it. Please do not no laugh after me, no jeer me, and them something there. You understand? Come in and know everything. Me just make you know. So the wake-up call. He collapsed right in the middle of a packed courtroom. He was one of this country's most distinguished trial lawyers. He was also a man who was as well known for the $3,000 Italian suits which draped his well-fed frame as he was known for his remarkable string of legal victories. I simply stood there, paralyzed by the shock of what I had just witnessed. The great Julian Mantle had been reduced to a victim and was now squirming on the ground like a helpless infant, shaking and shivering and sweating like a maniac. Everything seemed to move in slow motion from that point on. My God, Julian's in trouble, his paralegal screamed, emotionally offering us a blinding glimpse of the obvious. The judge looked panic-stricken and quickly muttered something into the private phone she had installed in the event of an emergency. As for me, I could only stand there, dazed and confused. Please don't die, you old fool. It's too early for you to check out. You don't deserve to die like this. The bailiff, who earlier had looked as if he had been embalmed in his standing position, leapt into action and started to perform CPR on the fallen legal hero. The paralegal was at his side, her long blonde curls dangling over Julian's ruby red face, offering him soft words of comfort. I want to make sure that I'm facing. I had known Julian for 17 years. We had first met when I was a young law student hired by one of his partners as a summer research intern. Back then, he'd had it all. He was a brilliant, handsome, and fearless trial attorney with dreams of greatness. Julian was the firm's young star, the rainmaker in waiting. I can still remember walking by his regal corner office while I was working late one night and stealing a glimpse of the framed quotation perched on his massive oak desk. It was by Winston Churchill, and it spoke volumes about the man that Julian was. Sure, Sure I am that this day we are masters of our fate, that the task which has been set before us is not above our strength, that its pangs and toils are not beyond my endurance. As long as we have faith in our own cause and an unconquerable will to win, victory will not be denied us. Julian also walked his talk. He was tough, hard driving, and willing to work 18-hour days for the success he believed was his destiny. I heard through the grapevine that his grandfather had been a prominent senator, and his father a highly respected judge of the federal court. It was obvious that he came from money and that there were enormous expectations weighing on his Armani-clad shoulders. I'll admit one thing though, he ran his own race. He was determined to do things his own way, and he loved to put on a show. Julian's outrageous courtroom theatrics regularly made the front pages of the newspapers. The rich and famous flocked to his side whenever they needed a superb legal tactician with an aggressive edge. His extracurricular activities were probably as well known. Late night visits to the city's finest restaurants with sexy, young fashion models, or reckless drinking escapades with the rowdy band of brokers he called his demolition team because the stuff of legend at the firm. Oh, it became the stuff of legend at the firm. I still can't figure out why he picked me to work with him on that sensational murder case he was to argue that first summer. Though I had graduated from Harvard last, wait, calm down, Michelle, calm down. Though I had graduated from Harvard Law School, his alma mater, I certainly wasn't the brightest intern at the firm, and my family pedigree reflected no blue blood. My father spent his whole life as a security guard with a local bank after a stint in the Marines. My mother grew up unceremoniously in the Bronx. Yet, he did pick me over all the others who had been quietly lobbying for him, who had been quietly lobbying for him to get the privilege of being his legal gopher on what became known as the mother of all murder trials. He said he liked my hunger. We won, of course, and the business executive who had been charged with brutally killing his wife was now a free man, or as free as his cluttered conscience would let him be.
Free from this country.
My own education that summer was a rich one. It was far more than a lesson on how to raise a reasonable doubt where none existed. Any lawyer worth his salt could do that. Lawyers, eh? That was a lesson in the psychology of winning and a rare opportunity to watch a master in action. I soaked it up like a sponge. At Julian's invitation, I stayed on at the firm as an associate, and a lasting friendship quickly developed between us. I will admit that he wasn't the easiest lawyer to work with. Serving as his junior was often an exercise in frustration, leading to more than a few late-night shouting matches. It was truly his way or the highway. Do you know anybody like that? My way or the highway? This man could never be wrong. However, beneath his crusty exterior was a person who clearly cared about people. Almost finished his chapter. So, no matter how busy he would always ask about Jenny, the woman I still call my bride, even though we were married before I went to law school. On finding out from another summer intern that I was in a financial squeeze, Julian arranged for me to receive a generous scholarship. Sure, he could play hardball with the best of them, and sure, he loved to have a wild time, but he never neglected his friends. The real problem was that Julian was obsessed with work. For the first few years, he justified his long hours by saying that he was doing it for the good of the firm. and that he planned to take a month off. Yeah, my wear or leave me alone, right? Eat, cook, that's all like me and you. No, we're not like that, are we? But we're firm people. We're very firm. We know what we want. We know what we want. So for the first few years, he justified his long hours by saying that he was doing it for the good of the firm and that he planned to take a month off and go to the Caymans next winter for sure. As time passed, however, Julian's reputation for brilliance spread and his workload continued to increase. More work for good work, right? Or them say, no rest for the wicked and the righteous can't tire, something like that. So the cases just kept on getting bigger and better, and Julian, never want to back down from a good challenge, continued to push himself harder and harder. In his rare moments of quiet, he confided that he could no longer sleep for more than a couple of hours without waking up feeling guilty that he was not working on a file. It soon became clear to me that he was being consumed by the hunger for more prestige, more glory, and more money. Hmm. As expected, Julian became enormously successful. He achieved everything most people could ever want: a stellar professional reputation with an income in seven figures, a spectacular mansion in a neighborhood favored by celebrities, a private jet, a summer home on a tropical island, I wonder which island that, and his prized possession, a shiny red Ferrari parked in the center of his driveway. Hey T, welcome. Yet I knew that things were not as idyllic as they appeared on the surface. I observed the signs of impending doom, not because I was so much more perceptive than the others at the firm, but simply because I spent the most time with the man. We were always together because we were always at work. Things never seemed to slow down. There was always another blockbuster case on the horizon that was bigger than the last. No amount of preparation was ever enough for Julian. What would happen if the judge brought up this question or that question, God forbid? What would happen if our research was less than perfect? What would happen if he was surprised in the middle of a packed courtroom, looking like a deer caught in the glare of an intruding pair of headlights? So we pushed ourselves to the limit, and I got sucked into his little work-centered world as well. There we were, two slaves to the clock, toiling away on the 64th floor of some steel and glass monolith, while most sane people were at home with their families, thinking we had the world by the tail, blinded by an illusory version of success. The more time I spent with Julian, the more I could see that he was driving himself deeper into the ground. It was as if he had some kind of a death wish. Nothing ever satisfied him. Eventually, his marriage failed. He no longer spoke with his father. And though he had every material possession anyone could want, he still had not found whatever it was that he was looking for. It showed emotionally, physically, and spiritually. At 53 years of age, Julian looked as if he was in his late 70s. His face was a mass of wrinkles, a less than glorious tribute to his take no prisoners approach to life in general, and the tremendous stress of his out of balance lifestyle in particular. The late night dinners in expensive French restaurants, smoking thick Cuban cigars and drinking cognac after cognac had left him embarrassingly overweight. He constantly complained that he was sick and tired of being sick and tired. He had lost his sense of humor and never seemed to laugh anymore. I'm on the last pages, guys. So I'm reading from this book, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. So I'm reading chapter 1, which says, The Wake-Up Call. So Julian's once enthusiastic nature had been replaced by a deathly somberness. Personally, I think that his life had lost all sense of purpose. Now, have you ever been chasing after something it's like you're saying, if I do this, if I just get another 10, let's use YouTube, for example. If I get 10 more subscribers, then I will slow down. But until I get those 10 subscribers, I have to keep, watching everybody else's videos. I have to go on this video, that play video, and then I have to, really pump to get, subs or whatever you call them, persons to subscribe to your channel. And then you get those 10 and you're like, oh, me get the 10. You know what? Maybe get 10 more. And you keep doing it, you keep pushing yourself until you realize that you are getting no sleep, you are restless, you're tired, you're frustrated. You don't even know what is angering you, not realizing that it's not just, I wouldn't say it's, it can be, tantamount to greed. You keep pushing yourself. Nobody's saying you are supposed to not work hard. Nobody's saying that, but you have to know your body and you have to know when to take a break and you have to know when enough is enough. You understand? I love what I do, but I honestly don't believe in losing sleep for a week for anything. I love to sleep and I feel like God has given me the daytime to work. And so I work hard in the daytime. And then when night comes, I just want to relax. So if I want to relax and watch, videos or read a book or whatever, I'll do that. I have to take time for self. That's just me. I have to take time for self. I remember a couple of weeks ago, I was so into YouTube. I was just doing videos, recording and editing. It took so much out of me. I was literally losing my mind. I never knew that could happen. And so what I did, I just took, it was first, it happened on a Wednesday. On that Wednesday, I didn't turn on my phone. I didn't turn my phone on because if I did, then I would be, would I want to go on YouTube? Because at that time I was fresh. And even though I wasn't putting out a lot of videos, I still was supporting other persons and I still supported. But that Wednesday, I was locked off. I didn't support anybody that day. And I missed videos that I went back and watched afterwards, but I never thought of apologizing for missing, any videos or anything or missing anything important. Persons texted me, persons called me. I had emails to respond to, but I didn't apologize for missing those because I really wasn't sorry. It was nothing to be sorry about. I just needed to take that time to, like T said, self-care. I needed to care for myself. My eyes were hurting me, guys. Falling out. It's like, yeah, my eyes, my head, killing me. I had to, so I shut down. I basically shut down that Wednesday, and then the Thursday and the Friday, I just took my time and then eased back into watching videos and taking my time. And I said, okay, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna have to record this day. You're gonna have to take another 2 days to edit, until you get used to it. And then the thing is, I was using my phone for most of these things, so my eyes just have to be adjusting to the little small screen. So all of that. But I feel much better about it now. And yes, Adrian, I do think it's very hard. It's really hard. But I watch you guys and I know it's worth it. I watch your growth. I watch what you do. But I feel like eventually you get a rhythm. And I feel like you guys have found your rhythm. Or a lot of people have found their rhythm, but I follow you guys more. So I see that you guys have found your rhythm. Yes. And so I think for me, it was a lack of rhythm, a lack of routine, a lack of just saying, this is what I'll do on this day and no other day. So yes, yes, people just have to understand when you say, you just take a break for yourself and I'm not going to apologize for missing. I'll say, hey, Adrian, I missed your video. I'll watch it and trust me. If I say I'm going to watch it, I'm going to watch it. So I go back and I watch the videos and I comment or whatever I have to do. But I'm not going to apologize for something I'm not sorry for. That's just me. But, it happens. And then lately, I've been so busy that most times I am watching reruns. And it's okay. It's okay. So here I am now at the last section of this thingy. So perhaps the saddest thing was that he had also lost his focus in the courtroom, where he would once dazzle all those present with an eloquent and airtight closing argument. He now droned on for hours, rambling about obscure cases that had little or no bearing on the matter before the court. Where once he would react gracefully to the objections of opposing counsel, he now displayed a biting sarcasm that severely tested the patience of judges who had earlier viewed him as a legal genius. Simply put, Julian's spark of life had begun to flicker. It wasn't just the strain of his frenetic pace that was marking him for an early grave. I sensed it was far deeper. It seemed to be a spiritual thing. Almost every day he would tell me that he felt no passion for what he was doing and was enveloped by emptiness. Julian said that as a young lawyer, he really loved the law, even though he was initially pushed into it by the social agenda of his family. The law's complexities and intellectual challenges had kept him spellbound and full of energy. Its power to effect social change had inspired and motivated him. Back then, he was more than just some rich kid from Connecticut. He really saw himself as a force for good, an instrument for social improvement, who could use his obvious gifts to help others. That vision gave his life meaning. It gave him a purpose and it fueled his hopes. There was even more to Julian's undoing than a rusty connection to what he did for a living. He had suffered some great tragedy before I had joined the firm. Something truly unspeakable had happened to him, according to one of the senior partners, but I couldn't get anyone to open up and talk about it. Even old man Harding, the notoriously loose-lipped manager partner who spent more time in the bar of the Ritz-Carlton than in his embarrassingly large office, said he was sworn to secrecy. Whatever this deep, dark secret was, I had a suspicion that it, in some way, was contributing to Julian's downward spiral. Sure, I was curious, but most of all, I wanted to help him. He was not only my mentor, he was my best friend. And then it happened. This massive heart attack that brought the brilliant Julian Mantle back down to earth and reconnected him to his mortality right in the middle of courtroom number 7 on a Monday morning, the same courtroom where we had won the mother of all murder trials. So this story is about Julian who, he started out very passionate about being a lawyer. I mean, after the encouragement by his family and stuff. And, he kept going, he kept going, he kept going. He was winning cases, he became more popular. The rich people wanted him to defend them, the mother, what is it called? The mother of all murder trials, where I'm assuming that that case was a case where the person who got off was almost guilty, but got off because of the complexities and the little technicalities of, the legal world. And in that very same courtroom where he won that trial is where he had his heart attack. And that's because he kept going. He had no time for self-care. He had no time for self-care. T, yes, it's true. It's not a reason to apologize, it's true. And Adrian, I was not working a full-time job. I wasn't working at all when that happened. I just wasn't working, I wasn't working, but whatever happened that time, you know what? In that period when I had stopped, when I took a break, there was so much happening. I was reading books, and I was reading books on my laptop. So I was reading a book a day on my laptop. In 3 days, I read 3 books. Then I was having meetings, Zoom meetings. And then I was watching the videos, and then I was recording and editing the videos. And I was doing the recording and editing and the Zoom on my phone. The only thing I was doing on the laptop was reading. And so I think I just, really strained my eyes, and it's something I had to deal with. Yeah, I had to deal with it. So, now I'm feeling like I'm a bit more poised or routine, or I have a little bit more time on my hands now, and I will take my time and get up there. Because of course I want to be big on YouTube too. Yeah, I want to be big on YouTube too, guys. So I thank you guys so much. You have always been supporting me, Adrian, E Cook, E Spicy, Jill, Picky Dell, Mama Dell, Kaylee. I'm not singling out anybody. I'm just, if I didn't call your name, please don't feel offended. I love all of you and I appreciate all of you for standing with me and for supporting me. And even though I'm trying the mukbanging, somebody told me the other day, Adrian, they tell me something for the mukbang, but somebody said mukbang is not your thing. Cooking is not your thing. I'm like, okay then. So apparently, even though I do love to cook, and the reason for me to get onto YouTube was because of cooking, I don't have the time to cook so much, even though I'm home. I don't have the time. It's like I can't bother, to be cooking so much, and I don't eat as much as I would have to be cooking. I don't eat as much as I would have to be cooking. So I'm limiting the cooking videos then to, when I have to cook or when I do cook and I can record the what's going on there. But I really appreciate all of you guys for stopping by, for coming in, for sharing with me. And Adrian, when are you having? I think the next time you have your live, I'm gonna be on that. I know you said no stress, but um, yes, not true. Not to listen to that person if it's true, because I love to cook. I mean, it's. If you go on my Instagram page, it's about food. I mean, I do. I love to motivate people, but I for a whole year on my Instagram page, it was about food and motivation. So I was doing like both of them. Every day I would upload something motivational and upload a food, something. But then I decided to leave my Instagram for food only. I've been posting over there for a while, but it's food only. And then I wanted to, on my YouTube channel, to, cover what I love to do. It's not an eating channel really, but I'm into foods. I want to cook. I want to share my recipes with the world. And Adrian, I'm kind of like you, where I love to just go all out with the food that mommy I cook. I love to go all out with the things that mommy I cook. No live this week. Okay, fine, fine, no problem, no problem. This week or Friday? Yeah, so next week, Adrian, next week is like 2 days from now. So yeah, I'll be more than happy. Just give me a heads up on the topic so I can research. I love to come with yeah. So just give me a little heads up on whatever topic you choose at it. Even like a couple hours, it doesn't matter. Right. So thank you so much, guys. Let me see if I can do 12 minutes. I make this to 1.5 hour. Yes, because I don't do it. I think maybe I should do more lives. Maybe I'll try to do more lives. It's just a timing. I know persons are at work or school, or they're on the streets or whatever it is that they're doing. Appreciate persons who have me running in the background. I appreciate that very much. We all know what this journey is when it comes to YouTube and, building up your watch time. I hope that's not a curse word, and all of these things. So I do appreciate you guys for stopping by and supporting me. I really do appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. Guys, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what to talk about now. I'm so excited. I'm passionate about food. Let me tell you what I'm passionate about, Adrian. I'm very passionate about food. And I think I'm most passionate about it because I watched my mom. I don't have her anymore. She passed away. And she was very creative. She was very resourceful when it came to the kitchen. My mother is the person who not throwing nothing Trust me, if she cook today and now 1 spoon of gravy leaf, it's going in one little container and it's going in the fridge. If I want, she would call it a bump. If a bump of chicken leave, it's a put down because tomorrow, when she has steamed the cabbage, she cut up the bump of chicken and put it with the cabbage. You know what I'm saying? She was very creative, very resourceful. And I learned that from her. So now when I'm cooking, I hardly go with like a recipe, like an exact recipe. I just do whatever comes to my mind when it comes to food. I cook from my mind. I imagine things going well together and I put them together. I see it in my head first. So I'm passionate about cooking.
Yeah.
I'm also very passionate about reading, sharing, reading. I'm passionate about motivation. I'm passionate about encouraging and inspiring people. I've never done it. I've never done it, Adrian. I've never done it. Oh, thank you, Adrian. Thank you. Thank you. I've never done food carving, or did I? Where I learned my knife skills, I told you I worked in the hotel industry for a little while. Um, so I learned a little knife skill there. And I think they used to do food carving. But you know what? It's life is not FEAR. And if you know what? That's a challenge. I think you just challenged me and I'm gonna take it up. I'm gonna do some fruit and vegetable carvings. Yes, I'm gonna do it. I don't know when, but I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do that that fruit and vegetable carving. But so yeah, I'm passionate about food. I'm passionate about cooking. I'm passionate about putting ingredients together. I'm passionate about reading. Encouraging people. I'm passionate, extremely passionate about mental health. Extremely passionate about mental health. If you know me, I'm very passionate. I feel like do whatever that's gonna make you mentally healthy. That's me. So I'm very passionate about that. Um, the cooking, I'll do that. Welcome to my channel, guys. Thank you for stopping by. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe to this awesome channel. Over here, we do lots of different stuff, book reviews, um, you know, cooking, foods, entertainment, travel, motivation, inspiration, anything that's uplifting that will add value to your life. That's what we do over here. So you're always welcome to join in. Okay. So I am gonna, when am I gonna stop? You want me to start? There you go. Thank you so much for that advice. I think it was last week I bought a book because I think I heard Jill say this. Jill, thank you. I heard Jill say this on one of her live programs. She said, you need a book. You need a YouTube book. You need a book. And I said, you know what? She's totally right. So I got myself a book and I started writing stuff down. And now I'm so grateful for this advice. So I'm going to do specific things on specific days, and stuff. If you notice, well, I don't know, if you notice, like lately for the last maybe 2 weeks, I've been putting out a video every single morning because, to be honest, my passion for YouTube was based on my sending out motivational videos or writing quotes every single day to persons in my my WhatsApp contact list and also on my Facebook and Instagram page. So I started doing that over a year ago, and I actually in September of last year, September 2019, I decided that I would do it for 365 days, and I call it the 365 days challenge. So what I have been doing since September 1st, 2019, is I've been posting something motivational, positive, inspirational, something uplifting every single day on a social media platform. So even if I didn't post it to Instagram, then it's posted to my Facebook page, and if not, I consider my WhatsApp a social media platform, yes. So I post it to my WhatsApp. So as long as I am for those 365 days sending out, that, then I'm sticking to that challenge. And I'm proud of myself. There are days I have not sent out, including that day when I decided I wasn't going to go on any electronic device or anything for that day. So yes, I will think of a schedule, and I will pick a specific day to do different things that I'm passionate about. I really appreciate this advice. I really do. I really do. So I have 4 minutes. Oh, hey Zane, talk about my editing skills so I can gain some customers. No, Zane. This is not a monetized. I don't even know how that works. This is not monetized. This is not something I can do or encourage on this channel at this point. I don't know. But this morning I had an issue with setting up my links, my follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook links. And I called my son. Well, he called me and I said, I'm trying to set this thing up and I can't do it, and getting frustrated and stuff. He's like, Mommy, okay, hold on. And then he was walking me through the process. And I'm like, how do you know these things? This is YouTube. We don't have a YouTube channel. How do you know these things? And he's like, oh, I'm looking at YouTube and telling you what to do. And I'm like, oh, very smart. But, you know, I'm grateful because he talked me through the whole process. And it was so simple. It was really simple. So, guys, if you have children that are tech savvy and stuff, use them up. Yes, use them up like I'm using my son. So I'm grateful for you, Zane. I'm really grateful for you. I'm grateful that you stopped by. I hope you finished school. Um, so we talked about so many different things today. Did the right sperm win? And we talked about life is not fair, be it FAIR or FEAR. Then we unboxed, and I got my book. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Cheryl. And Cheryl is a friend. She's a friend. She is a friend. Yes, I really appreciate Cheryl. Um, really appreciate her. So guys, it's 1:28 or 1:28. It's 1 hour and 28 minutes. I mean, I like the fact that I'm talking for an hour and 28 minutes. Maybe I should talk some more. I don't know. Maybe I should go 2 hours. I don't know. Maybe I could push it. Let's see if I can push it. What can we talk about? I don't want to read anything else from this book. I want to read it for myself. Um, let me see. So I'm going to read a book, a story called The Movie. The Movie. But hold 1 second. I'll be right. Don't you move. Do not move. Yeah. Yes, eat spicy. I have a son. But look, well, I'm not gonna pat. Well, I'm gonna pat myself on the shoulder. People always say I look like I'm 20 years old, but I'm not 20 years old. I'm almost 40. I celebrated my 37th birthday in March of this year, and I have a son who is almost 16. Yes, he's almost 16 years old. Yes, he's almost 16 years old. So I do have a son. So I appreciate this too, Adrian. You know what? Watch me take a picture of this part of the chat so I can write it down. I can do my so I can go to my book. You know how me stay. I love to write. Oh, I didn't tell you guys, me love write. Everything me write down. Everything. Everything. I write down. If you want something what happened 3, 4 years ago, you can call me and I can grab a book. I can remember which book I write it in because I have several, journals and stuff. I write down everything. So I appreciate that, Adrian, so much. So in the mornings, I send out motivational videos for sure. I thought I was just leaving high school. Oh gosh, I left high school aeons ago. Aeons ago. Yes, a dog of my age is no pup. So I'm gonna do the schedule, and you're totally right. See, I appreciate you guys so much for sharing what you do and how you do it with me. I appreciate it very, 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 very much. Yeah, I appreciate it very much. So I'm not just leaving high school at all. So I'm gonna step away, but I guess I'll allow you to look at my painting while I'm gone, right? I'm back. I am back. I am back. If I keep receipts, no, I don't keep receipts. I wouldn't say I don't keep receipts. I may have receipts. Um, I may have. Are you talking about the painting? Yes, CUT. Thank you, T. Thank you. It's fruits and vegetables. That's why I tell you guys I can't do the eatings that you do, the bangings, because I can't eat so much. I would love to be able to try, but if you give me a whole like that banana challenge, I could probably do it, but I wouldn't do it because I know taking in so much banana. All the evidence of what? Hmm. What was I saying before YT asked me if I have all the evidence? I don't know. We'll talk. So I couldn't do the banana challenge because I could not allow myself to eat as many bananas in one sitting. I mean, I could have the whole 10 bananas in a day because I eat fruits like that, but I couldn't eat so much in one sitting. So yes, you can voice note me, miss, which part? Pandisa? That possible? Lord, me excited so till that it. Oh, you mean over age? You see, I'm slow. I'm slow. I'm slow bad. Yes, voice note me. I'm IG writer, so me slow sometimes. All right, so I'm gonna read this last movie. This last it's one page, 2 pages, and then we could wrap up because by that time we would get over to thing there. I'm waiting on the IG. Okay, so this one is called The Movie, and I'm reading again from Did the Right Sperm Win? So listen to this one, it really rocks, right? It says, Yesterday I watched the most boring movie. Yesterday I watched the most boring movie of my life. It was highly anticipated and built to be a huge success. I never liked biographies, but this one I had to see. I had no choice. I sat waiting for it to start, anxious to get a move on. The movie finally started with the birth of a young girl on some tropical island, and her early years were pretty much uneventful, the usual mundane details. Forming and breaking relationships, falling in and out of love, going to the school cafeteria, nothing that really engaged the audience, I thought. It could have been any random person's life. There was nothing that was memorable or worth remembering. I quickly forgot it. I wanted to press pause at times just to get a break, but my remote somehow would not work. There were times I missed a beautiful moment in my anxiety to rush the development of the plot to get to the good stuff. I sometimes wished I could rewind, but the controls were too far away and I was too lazy to move. I was also tempted many times to turn off the television, but I kept saying there must be more. I kept waiting for the plot to unfold. Get your four-leg animal. I kept waiting for the plot to unfold. The advert had said exciting, life changing, unique, never before seen. So there just had to be more. And so I continued to watch in eager anticipation. 10 minutes and nothing, 20 minutes and nothing, 30 minutes and still nothing. Waiting, but it just dragged on and on. It almost became embarrassing. Whoever wrote this script should definitely be sacked. The lead character grew up, went to college, got married, started a family, and started working. She did not really enjoy the job, but just kept going and going and going. How dumb. What a waste of time, I thought. This had to be the most boring movie ever. No competitor anywhere. After 43 minutes, I finally had enough. It got too much for me, so in anger, frustration, and disappointed, I slowly moved away from my mirror. Right? So, this is, I guess, this is chapter 2. Today, I finally started the sequel, and so far, it is much better. I have started chasing my dreams. Watch this space. Part 2 promises to be much, much more exciting. So what happened is she was actually in front of a mirror. She was not watching a real movie. She was just in front of a mirror looking back at her life. You know, how she got started, how the picket fence, they start a family, have children, go to school, do this, go get yourself involved in a job that you don't really like, but you're just doing it because you need to, you know, earn or whatever the case is. So here was this person looking back at her life thinking, I can't rewind, I can't fast forward, I can't pause. These are things that really happened. But then after realizing that, hey, this is actually me, this is what I've been doing all my life, she decided to start a sequel and she promised herself that it would be different. So she started to chase her dreams. How many of us are similar? How many of us we have wasted, when we look back at our lives, we realize we have wasted so many years. We have wasted years in relationships. We have wasted years going to a particular school, completing a particular, degree. We have wasted years just wasting time, going to jobs that we don't enjoy, going to jobs where if we're supposed to clock in, listen, I can tell you, I had an awesome job. I did for 13 years. Well, the job wasn't awesome for 13, put it that way. At some point, I felt like I was just showing up. I felt like I was just showing up to this job. It wasn't as fulfilling. It wasn't, I didn't look forward to it. When I'm supposed to get to work at 8:15, I'm getting there at 8:12, 8:13. And if I happen to drive into the parking lot at 8 o'clock, I'm not getting out of my car until 8:14. It should not take me a minute to get inside. That's how I began to feel. And so many of us, we go to jobs that we don't like. And mind you, this job, it was paying me. I was living comfortably. Things were good and everything. But there came a time when I realized this is not what I really wanted. And I think for the last 3 years I was there, that's what it was. I was just not interested in doing anything extra. I was not participating in staff activities that were happening outside of working hours. I was just not interested in the environment anymore. And I wanted to leave. I applied to leave. They were giving this package. You could apply. I applied to leave, and I was not approved for that package. And I was frustrated. I applied to go elsewhere without the package. I was like, I'm willing to walk away and leave whatever money them offer me because I was just not enjoying myself here anymore. I felt caged. I felt like, I have done so much. I've given so much here. I've learned so much here. I've, been different positions. And you find that when you're in an organization, you can go so further and know more in an organization when you're going up to the top. I'm not saying I was anywhere to the top, but I am saying you can go no further and no more. And the further up you go is the less likely for, or the less positions available. You don't have 1,000 manager and 300, what you call them, lower staff, regular staff, right? You have more staff than you have supervisors or managers. So it will take for a supervisor or a manager to leave that job or to be transferred from one area to the next or whatever for a position to be opened up. And then the rat race begin. You understand? So I felt boxed in, like there was nothing else I could accomplish there. I was doing different things in the institution. I learned different desks, I learned different operations and stuff, and I just felt like that was it for me. So I, felt at that point that I had had enough. Eventually, they sent me home. Eventually, they made me redundant, and I can remember when my manager called me, and I hope to God she sees this. I remember when my manager called me into the office. I was out for 2 days before that because I was not feeling well. So I was out for 2 days. And for those 2 days, guys, every day I was praying. I don't know why. It's like every hour. I woke up 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, every hour on the hour I was praying. And if the hour came and I forgot to pray, and I remembered at 11:50, I am praying at 11:50, and 12 o'clock may I pray again. And I did that for 2 days straight. And when I went back to work and she called me to the office, usually I would say, Miss, I'm busy, I'm doing something, I soon come. And that soon come would never happen. I would just not go. Yes, yes, I was somewhat, let me not be gloating about that. But anyway, so when she called me into the office, I had somebody sitting in front of me, was another member of staff. And I like, anyways, I said, okay, I'll be there in a minute. And I hung up the phone and I said to the person, Miss, whatever, whatever, call me, so I'll be back. And I just said, God, whatever it is, let your will be done. Let your will be done. And I went into the office and she said, such and such from HR is on the phone and, we, whatever, whatever. And the person from HR, she greeted me and I spoke and she's like, they had wanted to give me this news from the day before, but I was out. So, and this was a Thursday now, so I'm back in the Thursday. And she said, we have, as you know, we are downsizing and we have made your position redundant. I said, okay. She said, Monday is your last day. Remember, today is Thursday. So she said, Monday is your last day. I said, fine. And my manager was all teary-eyed. And she looked at me and she said, I know you must be taking this really hard. And I said, no, actually not. I've been looking forward to this day. And I had a smile on my face. And then it's like she couldn't believe that I wasn't crying and getting all upset and stuff like that. And then the lady from HR, she said to me, we have counseling facilities, available, counseling services available. And I said, okay, where is this located? And she said, Kingston. Now I'm in St. Anne. So I said, and I'm supposed to drive to Kingston so that somebody can tell me how to handle the fact that I no longer have a job. I said, I'm not going to do that. I think, I have the greatest counselor who is God, and I am good. I have the greatest counselor who is God, and I am good. Right? So I didn't go for counseling. And When I got outside the office, I started to cry. And I didn't cry because I was sad. I cried because I said, God, you deliver me. Every day I come and pray, said, God, deliver me. And he delivered me. So I wasn't crying because I was sad. I wasn't crying because I didn't want to leave. I wanted to leave, right? And when I went out and I told other staff members that, Monday's my last day, and I had a smile on my face, and people like, it's all lie. You cannot lose a job and you're so happy. So I said, what do you want me to do? I can't hold on to the grill and to the door and say, me not leaving. It's not my place, you know. So I know what it feels like to be going to a job that you are just no longer interested in. And, it's like, I wouldn't want to say that you have, well, you know what, it is what it is. You have grown out of liking whatever that is. And you feel like there's no more growth there for you. There's nothing else for you to learn or whatever. For me, it was the same thing over and over every day. And even though I was, that position before and then that position after and then that position after, it was still the same thing. It was whatever it was. If you know me, then you know what organization I was in. But it was a financial institution, and it was just that financial institution. And I just became tired of it. So I was happy. I was happy to leave. So when you find yourself living, looking in your mirror and saying to yourself, I've been doing this for 5 years. What have I accomplished for these 5 years? What has changed these 5 years? Maybe it's time that you get up from in front of that mirror and start making changes in your life. Yes, you cannot keep wasting time. And I'll go into saying that, I use the term wasting time because we're used to that term, but you really can't waste time because time goes nowhere. Time goes nowhere, so you really can't waste time. So you spend years, like I say, in a relationship, whether it's intimate, whether it's a friendship, whether it is a job. And I feel like anything between two people or three or more is a relationship. So you spend the time in all of these things, and then it's like a waste. You no longer have anything fulfilling coming from that. Then it's time for you to get up from in front of that mirror and make changes. Yes, make a sequel to your life and say, listen, opposite me, I say. Me not say 360 degrees turn. And I don't know why people say 360 degrees turn, because if you do something 360, it means you're going right back to the position you were before. So I like to say I make 180 degrees turn, which is I was here, now I'm here. So you go, yeah, two opposite, whatever, two ends of the spectrum. So I like to say that things, are different. I like to make 180 degrees turn, not 360, because 360 takes you right back to where you started, right? So thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. Really appreciate it. I have 12 more minutes to go, and thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you, Adrian. I just have 12 minutes to go, so once it's finished, I'll just hang up. And I appreciate you so much for coming on today. And I look forward to one day being able to invite you up as well on this something here, what I call it, the live stream. When I'm routine, when I'm into it, when I understand it better and stuff like that. So I appreciate all of you guys for coming through for me today. I really appreciate you spending, it's almost 2 hours. I appreciate it very, very much, I appreciate it very much. Just remember, guys, don't be sitting in front of that mirror doing things that you've always been doing all your life, and then you expect, say, things are going to be different. It will not be different. It cannot be different. It cannot be different. That's the law of nature. You do the same thing, you get the same result. If they do the same thing every day, you get the same result. You have to change something in order for the results to change. So if you don't like your job, listen, don't say, I say, you must leave your work. I never say that. I say, sorry, the computer is moving up and down. I say, if you don't like something, change it. That's what I'm saying. If you don't like something, change it. I was willing to walk away from my job without getting any remuneration. I was just willing to walk away from that job from 10 years of serving without being given, we call it severance pay, redundancy pay. I was willing to do that because I was just not happy there anymore. And then when I left that, I stayed home with my son for 8 months. I stayed home with my son for 8 months because he was at that time going to do a very decisive exam that we call GSAT in Jamaica, and I needed to give him some attention. I needed to give him some attention because between um, my job and also volunteering in I'm a Kiwanis member, right? Find a better job and then quit the job. Yes, you make sure that you have a plan in place. You know, just walk away from the job and go sit down. I would never say that to anybody at all. So you plan, you prepare, then you execute. Yes. So because I was so involved in so many different things, I was not paying much attention to my own child. I neglected my child. So when I got that opportunity to stay home, when I was sent home, I didn't look for a job. I was just not interested in a job. And it's not like made careless or anything. I was just not interested. And I said to myself, I am going to stay home and I'm going to tutor my child, you know, give him the extra lessons. I got tutors to come to the house and tutor him because me never so bright a job. Me not have the patience. I don't have the patience. I don't know how it is I was even studying to become a teacher. Yes, I actually studied and was well on my way to getting my degree to get to becoming a teacher. You did GSAT eat spicy? T, you did GSAT. T, yeah, baby, you did GSAT. Okay, I never did GSAT, guys. I'm that old. I did common entrance in Jamaica. Common entrance. Them time there, if I can remember clearly, we had mental ability, math, English, and mental ability. But I don't think the English was called English. Was it called English? I remember, you know. But I can never forget mental ability. Can never forget that. Never forget that mental ability. Them times it was Carlong publishing books, and when teacher give you, let me talk about something. One when teacher give you assignment, it's always 100. 100 mental ability, 100 math, 100 social studies or whatever the subjects were at the time. And yes, so that's what we did. So I stayed home and I tutored my son. I helped him out, and then when he took GSAT, then I started to get serious about opening my own business, which I eventually did. And I spent a year in that business and then I migrated to America. So do what you love. And that business that I started, it was something that I loved. It was something that I loved. Yes, Miss T, I did CXC. Yes, eat cook. Sorry, Christy. I did CXC. Yes, Miss Me all. So one I say, uno do, wait, something name no, CSEC. A CSEC uno do? No man, this is serious. So uno do GSAT and CSEC. I mean do common entrance and CXC. Yes, I did CXC. I did CXC. So yes. So guys, don't sit in anything that makes you uncomfortable. Don't sit in anything that makes your mental health unhealthy, for want of a better put together, right? Anything that's going to make you imbalanced, especially mentally, don't do it. Find a way to get out of it because you find that you don't like it and you're still going. Yes, T, GSAT is to go to high school. You find that you're mentally drained. You go home and you don't even know why you're tired. You're tired so till you don't even have time for your kids. You don't even have time for your spouse. You don't have time to cook. You don't have time to do nothing because you're tired. Sometimes it's not the physical work that you're doing in your job that's making you tired. It is because you are mentally drained. You are no longer interested in what you're doing. Or even if you're interested, it is mentally draining you. And so you find yourself just getting tired, really tired. You have to look into those things and self-care. Self-care, take time off. You have people who are going to work every day. And even the fact say sick leave is available to them. They don't take sick leave. I'm not say you must take sick leave just because you can't take sick leave, but come on. You want to tell me say the day when you get up and your head urge you to tear off, you can't even turn on the lights because the lights going to affect your headache and you get up and you push gone to work. Where is self-care? You think if something should happen to you, your employer is going to leave your position vacant for your child to fill it when they turn 18 or 19? No, I'm in love. Before you're even under the ground, then find somebody else. Now, I'm not saying that you should just willy-nilly stay from your job. I'm just saying self-care. If you are feeling too sick to go, then stay home. It is your body talking to you. Your body talks. When car go broke down, it start go pucker until it stop. You understand? Just like your body. When your body is about to break down, you know. You are warned. You get warnings. See? This very first story I read in this book is called the very first story I read is called The Wake Up Call. The Wake Up Call. And it's not like this man wasn't getting warnings, but it had to take a heart attack for him to wake up. You understand? So when you find yourself getting frustrated and stressed out and stuff like that, take a vacation for heaven's sake then. So I don't want to take vacation either. No, T, don't take no vacation, no sick leave just because you can. I'm not even going to talk about that because I made use of every single sick leave. I made use of my vacation days. I made use of personal days that were allotted to me. You see, so what happened to when him really sick now, T? What happened to when him really sick now? You have the man to stay home just because you want him to, and not never deal. Eh? Eh, sir? But hey, what? If it is something that will make you happy, do it. And I'm sure he did it because he knows that what if he never gets sick? Remember now, T, this is what I tell people. This is what I know, and this is what I practiced when I was working in that institution. Being sick is not always something physical. It's not always that your honor hurt you. It's not always that your head hurt you. It's not always that you have mucus coming through your nose, you're having the flu. That's not always about being sick. There are so many other ways you can be sick, especially mentally. I'm telling you, mental illness is one of the top illnesses in this world. It affects more people than you can think about. The person, the person sitting next to you on the train, the person walking by you on the streets, the person who is serving you where you look by, the lobster, right? Can be going through a mentally ill period. So mental illness is it's very real and it's something that happens. And if you feel that you need a break, I'm sick of staying for you. It's so bad. I'm not having it with you. I'm not having it with you. But use up with tea, use up with time. If you're entitled to sick leave, like I said, you can just you just need a mental break. You just need a mental break. You can call out, I'm not feeling well. Yes, sick leave don't roll over. I know sick leave doesn't roll over. That's why none of mine did go wasted. I'm telling you, I used them up. It wasn't always about physical illnesses. Sometimes you could just feel mentally drained. You're working to meet a target and you're going, and the target meet now and your body just pop. Your body just pop and you just need a moment to recoup and to come back. So don't let it be that. So I have a few seconds left. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I did 2 hours. People say me chat enough. Them say me chat enough. But I true me talk enough. If me ever all of it talk, me talk. You don't hurt the man. You're not gonna hurt the man. But just take a time, take a minute, take a break for yourself, for your family. You understand what I mean? For your family. If your husband is always working at your home and you don't get to spend a lot of daytime or whatever, and he You know, he has different days available to him, sick, personal days, just a call out day, whatever you call it. Take it and enjoy time and just relax and just lie down at the tub or whatever, and do for fun. Just not think about work for that moment, you know? So do not stay in a situation that you're not comfortable in. Do the right thing and prepare yourself, plan yourself, and move away from the situation, right? Not stay. And if you ever need any inspiration, look here, I don't know if all this book straight. Yeah, so if you ever need any inspiration, just get this book. It's sold on Amazon. I don't even know if I should put the link in the description box because I didn't buy it, but it's sold on Amazon if you want to get it. It's not an advertisement. I'm just sharing the book that I'm about to read. And then this is the one I read before. This one I bought last year. And this I got from my friend Cheryl. Thank you, Cheryl, again. The monk who sold his Ferrari. And I'm beginning to think already that this monk is going to be Julian. I don't know. I just say. You see if the whole story is about Julian. Yeah, the whole book is about Julian. So I'm going to assume Julian is the person who sold his Ferrari. Right? Well, I'll tell you about it. So thank you so much, guys. It's 2 hours. It's 1 minute. I appreciate you so much for joining me today. I appreciate that you took time out of your busy schedule. I appreciate every second that you were here, every comment you made. Thank you for interacting with me. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with me. You know, if there's anything I can do to add value, if there's anything I can do to motivate you, if there's any book that you want to recommend or that you want to buy for me, you can just let me know. You can, I'll put my email. I'll put my email address. I'll ask, and the email address is for business inquiries only. Must be, about YouTube or whatever I'm doing on YouTube. I have my Instagram and my Facebook links on my profile. You can always link me there. If you want to buy me a book, if there's a book you want me to read, if there's a book you want me to review, I'd be happy to read it and review it and share it with you and with the world, right? So thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate every second. Again, I can't appreciate it enough, not sure, every minute, because we all know how valuable time is. And you don't have to. You didn't have to, but you came, and I really do appreciate, even if you're here for a second. You like both books, Steve? I'm gonna have enough more books. If you're into anything you're into, me can recommend a book. Trust me. Anything you're into, I can recommend a book. Anything. If you're into spirituality, like I like health and wellness. I like mental health. And with mental health, I think comes spiritual health. And so I have a lot of spiritual health books too. Books that talk to me about, like your chakras, books that talk to you about, different energies, different, situations, different, it just takes you from the physical being into a spiritual realm. I'm a spiritual person. Yes, I'm a very spiritual person. So I have those books as well. I read them a lot and I pay attention to them. When I see me go down for me, I would foot up in the ears, so me I give myself bless my womb. Yes, my bless womb and all of these things, different thing and thing. Don't worry, I'll show you one day. So I'm happy that you like both books. Go ahead, like I said, I'll put them here for you to enjoy. So thank you for joining me. Have a good evening. If you guys are coming on later, I'll be here. I'll have the time. Don't worry yourself. I'm not going to feel no way. Because now I'm not have to do it on my phone. I have the laptop that I can watch the videos on. That's not hurting my eyes. So there is a solution to what was happening to me earlier. So peace out, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, feel free to hit the subscribe button until it turns gray. Yeah. And then beside that, you're going to click the notification bell so that you're always notified whenever I upload videos. I upload a video every single morning That's a motivational video that's supposed to get you going for your day. It's about anything. It could be a quotation I read, it could just be something I dreamt about the night before, it could be an experience I had. But I try my best to upload a motivational video every single morning. It's not long, 3 to 5 minutes, just to get you pumping and get you moving. I hope to be able to do, more live chats, more live sessions to include you, my audience, and to make a routine so that, you're able to jump on when your kind of thing is coming on. Yeah, appreciate every single minute of it. So thank you so much for joining me again. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Make sure you say you're gonna have a good weekend. Let nothing at all spoil your day. Let nothing or no one spoil your, yes, I'm very flexible. Let nothing or no. It's because of the book I read. You see, when you don't have fear, FEART, you are able to do stuff that you never thought you could do. I never knew I could do a shoulder stand until I read that book. And it just tell you what to do to go onto your shoulders. And now I just drop on the floor and just go up on my shoulder like it's nothing. Right. So it's it's no fear. It's no fear. Make sure you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy your night. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your friends. If you are read your book. If you are sing your song. I cannot sing. If you're going to a concert, go to your concert. Whatever you're going to do, make sure you enjoy it to the fullest. Remember, don't sit in a situation that you're not comfortable in or comfortable with. Plan properly and move away from the situation, because when you have wasted your years, you cannot get it back. You're not wasting time, you're wasting yourself. So when you waste yourself away, you cannot get back your time. There's this poem called there is this poem called The Dash. The Dash. I love that poem. I'm always reading that poem. um I'm always reading that poem, the Dash poem. Trying to find it, but I don't know why I'm not finding it. All right, so let me read it really fast. It will take a minute. Yes, if you're gonna go by, it's okay, it's okay. Thank you so much for dropping by, but me just be like more read the dash right now before we go, because I'm talking about not wasting your time. Okay, so the dash is a poem by Linda Ellis, and it says, I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on the tombstone from the beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of birth and spoke of the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time they spent alive on earth. And now only those who loved them know what that little dash is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and how we love and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left that can still be rearranged. To be less quick to anger and show appreciation more, and to love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. If we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, remembering that this special dash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy is being read with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say about how you lived your dash? And we don't know if yeah, everybody do it. You look on a tombstone, you see born the day, end the day, but nobody knows what happens in between that little dash. The only persons who know what's happening with the dash are persons who are close to you, family, friends, or sometimes not even family, friends, people who know about you, right? So what do you want your dash to say? You have an option, you have a choice what you want your dash to say when they're reading your eulogy. Yes. And me want my dash to be very exciting. I want to slide into the grave. That's what them say. I want to slide my way into the grave. Yeah, me don't want to go down there peacefully. Like, want to slide the last moment of it, right? So make sure you are creating an awesome dash, live your life, go to the fullest, and enjoy everything that life has to offer. Once again, thank you so much for joining me on this call today. I appreciate your time. I appreciate everything. I appreciate your comments. Go ahead and just love yourself and love up your family and go and live up your dash. All right. So peace out. Thank you so much for joining me.